holes to fill in a 30-minute newscast. We have all of them have websites to fill. One of the things that we're going to talk about is also with your news release, send pictures. They love pictures because for the websites, there's tons of space for your news release and your picture. We're always asking people, can you send a picture with that news release? But yeah, communicate with them. Send them lots of information. If you have an organization that you're with, send them weekly emails or weekly news releases because there's plenty of room to fill on any given day with the website, with Twitter, with Facebook pages, and with the newscast because they always leave a little room for good news, at the end of the newscast. After they told you the horror of the world and 100 people were killed today, they end with, this nice jambalaya cook-off and makes you feel better. So your item could be that little news item at the end that they use that day of something that's good happening in the community. Another thing is to be nice, be helpful, be considerate. Again, you're developing a relationship with the media. They don't have to come out and cover your event. And we've had instances where people are really rude to the media, and that never works out well for you. So you want to be helpful, be considerate of their deadlines. If they call you at 11 o'clock and they want something on the 5 o'clock news, don't call at 5:30. We can't do anything with it at 5:30. We need you to call us to get ready for the newscast at 5 o'clock. So we need you to call us as soon as possible. So be aware of their deadlines. Don't call during news time. It's the worst time to call. Don't call close to news time because then we're just getting ready for that day's newscast. Try to call in the mornings after the shows. After the morning show, 7, 8 o'clock is a good time to call. After the morning news meeting, 10:30, 11 o'clock is a good time to call. And then early afternoon, before we get in the crunch, 3 o'clock is crunch time in the newsroom because we're getting ready for the 5 o'clock news. So we don't want to talk about your event tomorrow or next week. We really don't care about it at that point. So, but it's okay to call during those slow times when, we're not pressed and we're not working on that day's news. This is something that I always tell people too. It's a relationship. Some of you are with organizations and sometimes the news is not good. Sometimes there's fraud happening, there's corruption, what have you. But if you're develop a relationship with the reporter, you can't ignore them during the bad news either. It's a relationship, good and the bad. All we want you is to respond. So if you're calling me every day saying, Michelle, can you cover my event? And I'm covering it and we have a good relationship. When something goes wrong, you can't ignore my calls. Because then when you call again for that good news, I probably won't answer. Or I may not be as responsive because you weren't responsive to me. So don't be afraid to, if it's just, Michelle, I can't talk to you on camera, we're going to have to turn it over to the BRCC president. Just respond to the media or send something in writing, but don't ignore those calls when the news isn't good because they'll remember that. People laugh at this, but I'm telling you, it's like the number one thing that you can do to increase your chances of getting media coverage. Free food. Free food, it's true. I swear that it's true. My colleagues are always cringing when I tell this story. But you have hungry reporters, you have young reporters who are hungry and broke. They're always looking for free food. And so if you have on your press release, free food will be served, people in a newsroom are like, oh no, I'll catch that on the way to my next assignment.
I can attest to that. When we have events here, I promise you, when we have events here at BRCC, we were just, before she even brought it up, I always feed the reporters like they love it. They love it. I'm serious. Like, I never let them leave empty-handed. And if it's not food, it's something else. It's a giveaway, it's a bag, it's